Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome back to Brown Bag Bets, powered by BetSperts. We are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. I'm Alex Christensen, and joining me, as always, Mr. Andy Molitor. He's got his glasses on today. He's trying to look smarter. And it is Friday, so we always weave in a third man here. Mr. Matthew Rooney joins us to talk hockey and all other things. And that's true. You need to have them on. That's a tough part of trying to look smart because you're thinking, but then you can't see.
Andy, if you took off your glasses and I held up fingers, would you know how many I was holding up?
Like just looking, and again, so anyone, you guys can't see my monitor, but my monitor is a 42-inch TV that I have just hooked the computer up to because I love having a huge monitor. And no, I mean, Matt, you know that Jesus painting that lady restored years ago? Remember that was a big meme where she did a really bad job of it? That's
Sure.
Because Matt has headphones and a beard. That's what he looks like, just a white blob with like brown around it.
So you're saying I look like Jesus? Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a compliment.
A little Christ-like this morning.
I'll take that. I can take that.
Oh, off the rails, 5 seconds in. But yes, I did wake up a little late this morning, so I just opted to leave the glasses instead of going with contacts. But
you look great.
I don't wear these. It's good to give your eyes a break. Probably. I'm saying that without any medical knowledge, but like it seems like not wearing contacts for a few days, lets the eyes breathe.
I think it would have to.
If you're an ophthalmologist, optometrist, or anything, please feel free to chime in if that.
We'll bring you on Monday's show if you are. If you want to talk eyes.
Just falsehood, probably. But no, it's Friday. We're getting dangerously close to the week that leads up to the Super Bowl. It should be fun. I'm going to talk a bunch of NFL betting props next week. But first, we got to get through this chill-ass weekend. This is like All-Star break for NBA or MLB
NHL.
Or like
NHL. It could be the MLB All-Star break too.
I mean, everyone has that All-Star break. You kind of get this
break.
Coasting. You get to coast through this weekend.
This one's tough for me because it's the look. Like you could see that's the opposite of the light at the end of the tunnel. You can see the tunnel. You can see the darkness coming. Like you still got the game, but this is just a preview of what you're getting into 2 weeks from now, and it's tough.
Which I'm fine with. Like I'm done with football at this point. It's all draft time. Speaking of that, if you did miss that, I did a draft podcast with Vegas Refund yesterday. If you want to check that out, kind of setting up what we're going to talk about. There's not a lot of markets up yet, but there are some, and we even made a bet yesterday. Or he did.
Do you have anything active? Any active tickets?
No, he bet Jalen Hyatt to be the top receiver. Apparently, and it's one of those markets too. And you know this, Noops. It's like anything we bet that's smaller limits, prop bet like that. A couple people must have heard that and done the same because that number is gone. It's like, and obviously we're sitting here 3 months from the draft. Like they're going to nearly move on air on stuff like that. So just kind of a little tickle on a big number on Hyatt to be the top receiver off the board. Which nothing on my card yet.
It's pretty wide open receiver.
I didn't have time to drive to Iowa. I can't even drive to Iowa and do it. I would have had to send you money or something. So,
you can.
Time.
You still owe me for that, Andy. We're running out of time.
You guys should definitely talk about this on a publicly recorded show for sure.
I can send money all over, right? It's just people doing me a favor.
Yeah, I'm running errands.
I don't know. Do you think that's illegal, Noops?
Probably.
Yeah. Let's do a whole. Let's scrap the bets.
After the Super Bowl's over, this should be a deep dive episode. Take a deep dive into how legal this is.
Is it okay to have your friends place bets for you?
No, let's get deep into the Wire Act instead of going over gambling for the day. We should get a lawyer on for that one too. We should get a lawyer. I could have just stopped it. We should get a lawyer.
I'm not prepared to talk about the Wire.
No, I'm not either. So let's gamble instead. NBA, huh? This is the chat is worried about Friday fuckery, Noops. Is that a real thing? I just thought it was Sundays for the NBA, right?
Sundays and Fridays historically are days where you see a lot of nonsense. I don't know. I've never actually done any work to prove this theory one way or the other. So it's more anecdotal than anything. I will say Sundays for a little while. I think it was Lockie Lockerson who actually went through and did the work. There was like a period where for some reason on Sundays, underdogs cashed like crazy, but that's balanced out the last couple of years. So it's the NBA. Every night there is potential for fuckery. There's potential for stuff like, we go back last night, for example, not to complain about a loss, but might as well. The Dallas Mavericks scored 40 points in the first quarter, 30 points in the second quarter, 25 points in the third quarter, 16 in the fourth quarter, we lose our under by a couple of baskets. It's hard to explain things like that. So it's the NBA. Every night is a potential for tomfoolishness, if you will.
Some skullduggery, if you will. So what kind of trouble are we getting into tonight then?
Just 2 looks here. We've got an 8-game slate. Quickly running through the stuff that I did not bet here. Wizards 4-point favorites hosting the Trailblazers. I don't mind fading the Trailblazers really at any point, but just about right where that line came out for me. Sacramento Kings play the Pacers. Pacers on a back-to-back. It looks like with the way the line is set up, Tyrese Halliburton is not going to play tonight, but have to wait and see on that until you absolutely know. The Celtics are 9-point favorites over the Suns. My model actually kind of like the Suns, but the Celtics have played good against some of these better teams, and Phoenix really has been poor on the road here, so gonna pass on that. Your Timberwolves, Andy, 5-point favorites over our Orlando Magic. Again, came out kind of right on my number, but yeah, right.
Choice, isn't it?
That's scary. That is scary. Play the Magic money line. They either win that game or lose on the road here pretty comfortably. My Sixers, huge favorites over the Spurs. Again, everything looks just about right to me there. And then Dan's Hawks, small underdogs to the Jazz. Thought about betting the Jazz -1.5, but the Hawks have just been so good lately. So we'll see. You might add the Jazz later, a couple other things. But for now, a total and a first half bet and a prop. You may have seen the prop already, Andy, here. And I know Matt's really going to like this.
I'm excited for you to explain it.
All right, so we'll start here with the total, though. Hornets, Pistons under 241. This is down to 240. Anything 240 or higher looks pretty good here. Really, really tough rest spot for the Hornets. 3-4, back-to-back. LaMelo and Terry Rozier played almost 40 minutes last night. Gordon Hayward in the 30s, so should be some very tired legs there. The Pistons have been happier to play games at a little bit of slower pace when they are winning, and it looks like a good spot for them to do that tonight. Again, my model came out here closer to 236, 237, so anything 240 or higher looks good to me there. And then the Rockets at home have been a really solid first-half team. They play the Toronto Raptors tonight. The Raptors are very poor on the road, still without OG Anunoby. Had this closer to +1, +1.5 or so, so +4 looks really nice. And a bet that I cashed a little while ago, I can't remember if I shared this with everybody or not, but I definitely put it in some chats. It's a bet basically where you can bet on the winner of the first half and then the winner of the full game kind of parlayed together. If you're trying to find this, say, for example, on FanDuel, where I found this price, go in the same game parlay section. They have it set up as like a little pre-built parlay, first half, full time, basically it's called. But what we're going to do is bet on the Rockets to win the first half, but the Raptors to win the basketball game here at +500. Just a little bit of a sprinkle, but again, I see an edge here for the Rockets in the first half. I think there is value on that money line. And at the same time, the Rockets have been one of the 2 worst teams in the NBA in the fourth quarter net rating, to the point where I think they're -13 or so in net rating. And then the team next behind them is -4.5. It's absolutely astounding to lose by that many points and that over this long of a time. You clearly see an effort at them tanking. If you go and look at their lineup charts, they bench their starters. They don't even have to do that at this point. Jalen Green looks like he's going to be out tonight, possibly Kevin Porter Jr. So going to continue to play this anytime I see some value in the Rockets first half. So give me the spread, Rockets first half. We'll do this fun little prop and then an under in the Hornets-Pistons game.
I like the prop. I love the prop, especially since it hit last week, or it was like 2 weeks ago. You had that on. I don't even remember you never remember who the opponent was, but it was the Rockets.
It is Michael Jordan Day. I may have to go play some roulette today.
Put it on 23.
Cigar, gamble, play some poker. Well, I mean, we're going to gamble. Fourth quarter.
I wish I could go find a golf course, but it's a little cold for that.
A little chilly. Maybe a Top Golf.
Yeah, so we got
Chicago.
You get a lot of bounce.
Alyssa's building has a simulator in it. Maybe I'll bring my clubs over there later and just head down there.
Just walking down Whacker with your clubs.
So it's fine, guys. There's a few different simulator like spots in the city. And last year, me, my brother, and my cousin were going one, walking just like right down LaSalle Street in the heart of the Loop with snow falling on the ground with like pretty much right around 4 or 5 o'clock when people were getting off work with our golf clubs. The amount of comments and looks we got were just outstanding.
Just go down to Grant Park and hit them out into the
guys. Just hitting some balls out here. Come on, it's fine.
They bounce off the damn thing. Off the ice.
Going to murder somebody or hit some golf balls. Who knows?
You, not me.
So is it the NHL All Star break?
It is. For a league that has
your bets, I'm like, I don't think you can bet on this in a game.
For a league that has zero idea how to market itself still, for some reason, this is very on brand because the All-Star break even snuck up on me this weekend. Like I knew it was coming in the back of my head, but kind of forgot this morning when I went to go look at hockey bets. But that said, yes, it is the All-Star break.
Do they have fun contests?
They do have a lot of fun contests. It's
Is it
actually
like a
called the
three-point
Skills
shootout?
Contest. They actually should have some basketball. Like I feel like that'd be fun if for the NBA All-Star break you had some hockey events, and for the NHL All-Star break you had some basketball events. Like the Pro Bowl, I saw Jordan Poyer hit a long drive yesterday. Like that was awesome.
Yeah.
I see what you mean, crossing over after hockey.
Yeah, like some crossovers. I like it on skates.
They
that
put
would
basketball
happen.
hoops in the pool.
Someone's gonna get hurt.
Someone's gonna break an ankle.
You're not supposed to jump in skates, I don't think.
But yeah, for today, I got a couple props for Skills Weekend. Obviously, not going to touch the games, and then once we come back from the break, I'll reassess kind of some NHL futures and see what I like coming out of the break. And then the deadline obviously is in a month, so I will take a look then as well. A couple props I like here: Cale Makar, fastest skater at plus 330. I feel like I've said his name more than any other on this podcast when talking about hockey bets. Outside of Connor McDavid, he's the best skater in the NHL. He's probably the fastest skater as well. And the thing about these contests is it's not just a straight line sprint. You're skating around the full length of the ice. So you actually have to be able to turn. You have to be able to keep up speed. And there is nobody in the NHL that at least from outside of Connor McDavid, there's nobody in the NHL that skates faster and better than Cale Makar. Plus, if you look at the recent winners from a lot of these contests, there are a lot of younger guys making early All-Star game appearances, and in these contests, you do tend to see some more of those types of guys. But with how good he is and how early he still is in this kind of All-Star weekend, experience, I feel like those are the types of guys that tend to show out a little bit more. So I expect him to put up a pretty good showing there. And then Jack Hughes at plus 700 in the accuracy shooting. Andy, who does Jack Hughes play for?
A hockey team.
Good.
He was a linebacker on the Colts.
Bars Kazan.
No, he actually plays close to Noops.
I named a KHL team.
He's a New Jersey Devil, and he was the first overall.
New Jersey
pick
might as well be Russia, man.
Basically,
no offense, guys.
He was the number one overall pick like 3 or 4 years ago. I forget the exact draft class, but he's having himself a breakout year. He's entering himself. He's not going to win the Hart, but he's going to be in some consideration there with how good the Devils have been. He's kind of been their driving force. He's their young star. He's only 21 years old. Did some digging into the accuracy shooting this morning, thanks to Wikipedia. 6 of the last 8 accuracy shooting winners have been left-handed shots. And I believe each of the last 6, Crosby won it 6 or 7 years ago, but everybody leading up to him has been 26 years or younger. And I think only one person has been 26. The rest have been 24 or younger. So I'm going with a younger guy here, left-handed shot. Jack Hughes is 21 years old, having a breakout appearance. I believe it's his first All-Star appearance too as well. If not his first, it's his first as kind of one of the bigger guns there, and he's at plus 700. I really like those odds. I don't know what it is about the left-handed shot. It might just be a fluky trend, but it is 6 of the last 8, and I like him as a younger guy, again, making kind of his early appearance in All-Star weekend. So give me Jack Hughes at plus 700 there, and then my guy, Cale Makar, at plus 330 to win fastest skater.
Do they do any backward skating contests? That's I would like to see.
That would be fun. There's been some sort of I don't know if they still do it.
Actually do that.
It's honestly, once you get going, it's not really that hard. I mean, to stay up. I mean, for them to go as fast as they do sometimes is pretty epically amazing. But I know they used to do similar to the NBA had like a not obstacle course, but kind of like skills course. I know the NHL did something like that. I don't know if they still do because fastest skater is always there, accuracy shot is always there, hardest shot is always there. But the outside of those, they kind of rotate out between breakaway stuff or skills channel, whatever. So sometimes there's some backward skating involved.
Do you remember when Cat won the 3-point contest, Noops?
I bet on it.
He's not. Oh yeah, we did. He's not even on the team anymore. I don't think.
Andy, can you name the Wilds?
He's on the roster.
I'm sure he's on the roster still. I'm not even sure they're going to have him on the playoff roster though. It's going fine without him. Oh, where are we at? All right, I'm obviously going to bet on that. I love betting on All-Star game stuff. I bet on. You got
a Minnesota Wild player.
Towns.
Kirill Kaprizov is in the fastest skater. If you're looking for a Wild,
I didn't get the win, and I can't think of his name now. But he plays for the Mariners, I believe. I ended up somebody at the last minute convinced me to bet him a few different ways in the home run derby. It was most home runs hit.
Is it Julio Rodriguez?
Yeah, and to reach the final and then to win. He didn't end up winning, but
he did everything but win.
Yeah, he couldn't lose the most home runs hit once he got to the final, which was kind of nice to have. So I love betting on that. And Noops, like you've given me some winners over the years in the All-Star break too. So for sure betting these. And then I should have got to this one earlier. Like this starts soon. This starts in like 40 minutes, I would think.
It's okay.
They usually take these down 10, 20 minutes before they tee off. So if you want to bet this, you're going to have to hurry, but it's basically in the same wheelhouse, like in the same theme as yesterday's bet when I talked about that. If anyone remembers that guy won by like 7 strokes, by the way. That was a banger yesterday. Absolutely a little actually Russell knocks over Justin Lauer, whatever you have. That one won by a shitload. Same handicap. Hey, here's a guy who has terrible off the tee numbers at a place where off the tee just doesn't matter because you have a lot of layups, you have a lot of forced layups, you have a lot of spots where you're not hitting, driver, you have a shorter course, and then a guy who's good off the tee, where again it doesn't matter. And then if you take their second shot stuff and it's flipped. Like I'm looking at the guy who is dragged down by his off the tee numbers and risen up by his approach numbers. Same handicaps yesterday. Chesson Handley over Troy Merritt. minus 105. I want to say there was something else. Maybe it was some of the proximity stuff too. Just like some of the general proximity Hadley was a little better at, which is going to happen when a guy's just better at approach. But I did look at this too. If you take the 152 golfers in the field and look at the 20 worst as far as coming into the event, the 20 worst golfers as far as strokes gained off the tee, like 14 of them are shot par or better yesterday. It just really hasn't. And the couple that were, bad, it's just like, oh, this is just a really bad golfer in general. Like Ted Potter Jr. is bad. Like he was 1,000 to 1 too. So it's just not mattering here. I know the weather's going to be a little wonky today, but Chesson Hadley over Troy Merritt minus $1.05 is what I found over at Bet Online. And now let's close it. I didn't have any basketball yet today. I'm going to look this afternoon when I get a chance, but fuck, I can't hit water if I fell out of a boat with basketball anyway.
Struggling with college basketball this
year? LIU was hanging. Again, I honestly need to just bet first halves, I guess. Like I think I'm like 42-1 in first halves and about 15-25 in full game. If I went back,
only bet your first half.
Just bet my first halves, guys. Like apparently that's the ticket. But speaking of first halves, it's kind of your thing, except we call it first sets in tennis. Been a lot of that this week. Do you think there's just a lack of adjustment due to some of the court speed issues?
And that seems to be it. I'm really surprised that these totals in Lyon haven't been a little bit higher. Have played a couple full game totals a little closer to match based on kind of where they were and kind of what the conditions have been. But yeah, it seems again to be, and it could just be, the books are looking at Super Bowl lines. There's still hockey. There's still basketball going on. They're trying to hang NFL draft lines and stuff like that. Some of this stuff kind of falls by the wayside a bit. So, yeah, going to keep going back to the well here. Just one play. Again, it's Friday. We're down to just a couple matches in every tournament. I'm only looking at really 2 lines open right now. Jasmine Paolini playing Caroline Garcia, big underdog live. I don't see anything really sticking out to me there. The next match in Lyon, Linda Noskova, a big favorite over Maria Camila Osorio. I might watch that match, maybe bet the dog live, depending on how she looks. We'll see how that goes. But early tomorrow morning in Wawin, should be about 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So hopefully we'll wake up and this will be nice and taken care of. Lin Zhu and Jinyu Wang play together again in courts that we've seen some overs this week. They've done much better than unders. These first sets have been particularly long. Again, 2 women that are pretty solid servers. Neither one necessarily particularly impressive on the break this week, just kind of doing their job, holding through some of these matches. So to get this at plus money looks really nice to me. This came out to 9.5, closer to minus 120 for me. So again, plus anything looks pretty solid in a match where the more and more I look at this, the more it really feels like we're looking at 6-4, maybe 7-5 here in the first set. So we'll continue to play this angle, and maybe in Lyon I'll add a couple matches tomorrow, but we'll see. Again, as nothing's really open. That's what kind of the funky part about tennis is. Heavy on Monday, low on the weekends. It's a good balance.
mean, you're giving me a first set over at plus money. I mean, that crosses all the boxes for me. I love betting on the first part of the match. I love overs and I love plus money.
Yeah,
So
the nice part about that is, it's done early. It's like micro betting.
You have to worry about retirements and goofy stuff like that.
None of that stuff. They pay you.
I have nightmares about tennis retirements.
Yeah, don't talk about tennis retirements in front of
yeah, sensitive subject.
We've done some finagling around with our data importation on tennis grading over at BetSperts. I think we're about to make some big improvements on the tennis grading, but oh my God, there is something that happens in tennis that doesn't happen anywhere else, and that would be a first round withdrawal. So I mean, imagine, and you can't even imagine this, but just imagine like the Vikings said, Kirk's sick and Justin, we can't find him, and like we're just gonna pull out. Like have somebody else play the Giants, or the Giants can just move on. And they go, well, we can't have the Giants just move on. Like we haven't played any play. We'll just put another team in there, and that's what happens all the time.
Whoever's up next.
Just your lucky loser, your next highest qualifier, whatever happens all the time. And there are some data providers that don't make sense. That just like, oh, you bet on this match, but they changed the opponent. That's the same match, right? Still get the match ID number. So there's a little bit of confusion with that sort of thing. It's like, I'm pretty sure I didn't bet against this guy. No, you didn't. He was replaced. So things are getting better. Tennis grading, it's turned out to be a lot tougher than any other sport, which is fun. Or the opposite of fun, honestly. So
you're
getting a lot of wrecks.
I like it. I've been to 5-iron. I've not been to the green. 5-iron has a couple locations. Those are pretty fun.
Fran Millionaire says it is 2x.
I got to look it up. I got to check it out.
And then, $10 to 10K segment. I don't have a ton of time. So you bet $25 on the 4 or the 10 or both. And then if you have 25,
it's Michael Jordan Day.
Yeah.
Go find a roulette table and put $10 down until there's 10,000 in front of you.
That's a good point. It's really not that hard.
10 to 10K is hard.
Retire.
25 to 1,500 is not. So you take 20, and you understand how the 10 and the 4 pay. They pay double minus commission. So you take your $25 green chip, you put it on, let's just say the 10. The 10 hits. You've made $50. Now you got to pay commission on that. So you have to toss them the dollar, but such is life. You take all that money and you stack it up there again. Now you've got a $75 bet. 10 hits again. That pays $150. You now have $225 again.
I feel like that scenario should just be playing the 10.
Less commission.
So I want to play on Andy's roulette wheel if 10's just hitting every time.
Now you have $225. So you take the $25 off the top. That is your initial stake. You're now even Stevens. And obviously there's some commission in there. So you're actually up to like $13. But at this point, you're free rolling. You bet $175 on this 10. It hits again. 175 plays double 175 math. Any math on that for me?
Double 175, 350?
350. Yes. So now
big math guy.
You have 175 plus 350. And this is the only reason I do this is because the table max in Iowa was 500. Otherwise, I'd probably push this one more time. So now you take all that money you have. The commission at that point is $25. So you set that aside for when you hit it. You bet $500 table max. You've only hit the 10 3 times at this point. You've already taken a $25 chip and turned it into a table max bet. It hits again, and you look at the croupier and you say 1,500 and down, and you throw them everything you had left and a little bit of a tip. And you have taken a $25 chip and turned into 3 $500 chips. Again, less commission.
So easy.
It literally is hitting the 4 or 10 4 times. Again, it is very hard.
That's not easy to do.
No, it's not easy, but I've not only have I done this, but the first time it worked, my buddy was on a slot machine and I ran over to high five him and they just decided not to wait for me. And the guy threw another 10 and I hadn't taken my money down. So I'd hit another max bet on the 10. And that's literally the best I've ever done at craps down there. Is that one time. So that's the craps strategy. If you want to do a true 10 to 10K, craps might be a little easier because at that point you're just gambling and shooting at you're just tilting at windmills anyway, guys. So have a good weekend. I'm sorry I left you with that that problem.
No, I'm going to a
gambling story.
casino now.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
got to
I know,
go
I
find it.
probably-
We got casinos here now. I'm taking the afternoon off.
I have Bovado open. I'm literally doing it right now. You guys can. That's why I'm clicking so much. Just roll. So hit the thumbs up on the way out. Thanks, Matt, for joining us. Alex, I hope you have a good weekend. Producer Dan, go have fun. Everybody, go have fun this weekend. Win all your bets, and we'll see you Monday.